5:45. I don't want to rush it, but
Okay, we can't.
That'll take us 20 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, that'd be perfect.
All right, we're on. Welcome back to part 2 with our guests Robert Turnquest and Michael Roberts.
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike. Forgot about
Fucking
that.
Right.
I love that.
Rob TQ. Call him TQ Magazine.
TQ Magazine.
Or not, just go with Rob. Rob works too.
What is the idea behind the nicknames? Because a lot of fighters have them. Is it just a marketing thing, or what is the?
I think it's a marketing thing. It's a way to identify, certain fighters and stuff like that. I think with anything, like every sport, everybody gets a nickname, not just fighters. I mean, there's tons of sports where people get nicknames. So I think it's just something that goes with being a pro athlete.
Is it something that did you make up your nickname, or is it like the guys in the?
No, you don't make up your nickname.
I didn't think so.
Nobody gets that lucky. If you can make up your nickname, everybody would have a cool ass nickname. You wouldn't get shit like Magic Mike, like.
Yeah, but those are the ones. Those are the ones that stick, though. Like all your friends talk about it, call you that, know you guys, and then it sticks.
Exactly. Like I said, most of my fights have been in Biloxi. Yeah. Atlas fights with Glenn Matina, and I fought there just last month, and the fighters meeting, he was mentioning that about getting your name out there. You got to promote yourself. It's all about marketing. And he says it should be to the point to when they hear your nickname,
they know who you are.
The first person. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when someone says Magic Mike, they're not thinking of the fucking movie.
Well, yeah, they are. No, they are. No, they are actually.
Well, I'm trying to get to that point to where when you hear Magic Mike, I'm the person you think of, not.
Yeah. If anything, it's just a positive because that name's familiar.
Right. At one point, if Channing Tatum could walk out with you at one of your UFC events, if you ever got there, that would be pretty incredible.
Fucking cufflinks and a bow tie.
Right.
You should just start doing. You should just start doing that anyway.
It goes to like WWE status.
I've heard that before. No, hell no. There's no correlation with the movie. Let me say that again. No correlation with the movie. I got that nickname before the movie.
I wanted to touch on. We talked about it a second ago, but
I wants to touch on Mike.
Yes. Hashtag Jungle Fever. What is the slap ass about?
Oh, that yeah.
You ever watch Key and Peele?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just from a funny skit.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
not an actual event that takes.
No, hell no.
No.
Well, actually, yeah, there are some people that's very questionable.
Yeah, like that Fury guy that we were talking about.
Well, he's autistic. He doesn't know better.
Well, yeah, maybe it's Asperger's. I don't know.
It's all
Autism,
the same.
Asperger's, it's all the same.
It's all the same ballpark.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Yeah. See now,
you are, man.
This is being recorded. It is out in the world forever too.
Yeah.
Till the world ends.
Delete this second part of this podcast later.
Just an inside joke among the gym. It's from a funny skit from the show Key and Peele on Comedy Central.
Key and Peele actually sponsors the podcast.
I don't think you can say that. I don't think you can say that. Yet. Yet.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't know why they would. Maybe
they have that kind of money.
Maybe.
So, have y'all? Here's something I want to know. If you've ever been out to an event and seen like a celebrity in the audience.
I mean, it depends on what your definition of a
celebrity
is. Like, we go to the jiu-jitsu tournaments and you see guys that are UFC fighters at, these jiu-jitsu tournaments and at MMA events and stuff like that. And I think it just depends upon, like, who you consider a celebrity. I got to meet and take a picture with a guy that I personally think is a celebrity. We went to the Masters Worlds in California a couple months ago, and there's this guy named Kurt Osiander. He's a legend in the jiu-jitsu community. And, there's tons of other guys that are walking around that are current active competitors, world champions, guys that travel around and do seminars for, thousands of dollars, and, guys that have made their living doing this. And I was like, I don't give a shit about that guy. Oh, fuck that guy. Oh, Andre who? Yeah, it's not a big deal. And then I saw Kurt Osiander, and I was like, oh, shit. That's Kurt. Like, oh, shit.
Why that reaction, though? What?
I don't know, just something about his jiu-jitsu, his style, the way he teaches. Like, if you watch any of his videos or if you ever got to, like, watch one of his seminars or anything like that, like, just something about how he does everything. I'm like, that's...
Personality.
Yeah, his personality. His personality is cool as hell. He's got, like, his famous line that everybody knows is, like, someone asked him at a seminar one time, like, hey, if I get in this position, what do I do? And he's like, you got in that position, you fucked up a long time ago, bro.
That's
Like,
So it's a famous meme all over.
yeah, that's
over.
funny.
Yeah.
Right.
you fucked up, bro. So
That is a good one.
Is there another one too? Just says shut the fuck up and train.
yeah, shut the fuck up and
I
train.
feel like I've seen that
He
somewhere.
says like there's like different positions and stuff, and he's got like I don't know, he's just got a bunch of funny ass quotes like I don't do this, it's half gay, stuff like that. You're like, well, man.
Does that like ever add pressure though? If somebody's at one of your fights that's kind of well known and you're like, not so much as a celebrity, but like let's say
Important.
like the Alan Belcher guy, without being there and you know that he's kind of a big name, you're like, well, I should perform good in front of him.
Maybe if they were there to actually like critique you, like if like a contract was riding on the line, that might be different. But if they're just there to watch, I feel like they're just there.
Well, here's the thing. I fought one of Alan Belcher's guys maybe 4 times total now, and Belcher was in their corner. He was coaching them during the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you just can't let things like that get to you. Like I said earlier in the podcast, I mean, as soon as I step out, just straight tunnel vision.
Yeah.
I don't care about anything else. I don't care about how many people was rooting for the guy that I'm fighting because, almost all of my fights I was the
Out of town person, underdog.
Yeah, going against the fan favorite, the hometown guy.
Yeah.
So I don't care about who's rooting for who. All I care is that I got my team with me. I'm going in there and I'm going to hurt the guy.
I've heard this before. Whenever GSP and BJ Penn, whenever they were doing their fights, and somebody like this girl kissed BJ Penn while he was walking out, and he lost the fight, and that was like one of the things that they were like, well, that could have thrown off his mental state. Would anything like that, you think? Like, let's say this big titty blonde was sitting in the front row while you're walking out, and she just reaches over and gives you a big kiss on the lips. Would that like throw you off your game at all?
Walking out, it probably wouldn't even hit me, honestly. I just have a stone face. I just continue to walk, and then as soon as I get in the cage, and I'm in another mindset as well. Just like I just forget about everything. It's like a surreal feeling, honestly, when you're walking to the cage. Just like everything's in slow motion, but still you're just zoned out from everything at the same time. As far as that,
if you were trying
kissing a girl or something before a fight, I mean, some people, they need to separate themselves from Facebook or their significant other. They need to actually
turn the cell phone off.
Yeah, be in their own little shell. Yeah. They have to do that to get in their mindset for the fight because you got to do whatever it takes. Everyone's different.
If you could put to words the feeling of surreal when you walk out, what would you say it is?
Words can't describe it. There's no way I can explain that verbatim. Yeah. I mean, there's just no feeling like it. I mean, besides skydiving, I mean, there's really no other rush you can get from fighting. And pretty much the only thing you can do is just experience it for yourself. I mean, going through all the emotions, it's just a big roller coaster of preparing for the fight, going through all the fears, possible injuries, fear of the unknown, and worried about what the other guy might be preparing for or what they may be doing. You're always, I don't know, it's just, you just can't explain it. There's nothing like it. And then after the fight, especially after that win, you worked so hard for it. And that time comes, and then, all the hard work pays off. It's just amazing.
Is it safe to say, Rob, you being a judo guy, Mike being a stand-up guy, are you, like Rob, you're wanting to get the fight to the ground, right? That's where you feel most comfortable?
Ultimately, that is where I try to take most of my fight. Well, that's why I try to take every fight. It's not a secret anymore. But because everybody knows that, you can only do that so many times before people start to pick up on it. So because everybody knows that, we're trying to evolve and trying to change some aspects of my game, and making sure I'm ready for this next fight and whatever he throws at me.
And Mike, are you only wanting to stand?
That's where I'm comfortable at, but I like to be well-rounded in all the aspects of the game. If you don't evolve in this sport, you're going to get left behind. I mean, you have to keep up with your striking, your groundwork, your wrestling. I mean, eventually you're just going to get exposed when you finally come across that person. And that's my biggest fear, because I've always been more of a striker, even though, I am a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, which, honestly just feels like I'm just starting in jiu-jitsu, but, would be considered, a higher level of grappling. I just constantly try to improve on my weaknesses, and you have to.
Right.
You're just going to get exposed. I mean, that's my biggest fear. I've been more of a striker, but my biggest fear is one day I'm going to come across a dangerous striker too, and I'm gonna have to take it to the ground. And I like to have a strategic approach or more methodical approach when it comes to the fights. One time I did fight a good boxer last year, one of Rich Kalindi's guys, the guy that I mentioned earlier about I just took him down and just submitted him with a leg lock in the first minute. He was a striker. I'm a striker as well, but I just didn't want to take that risk. I immediately just took him down. Tom.
That's completely random for anybody that's listening. Talk about having autism over here.
All right, so we had
sometimes in my conversation, I'm describing something, I just randomly blurt out names.
Male names.
Yeah.
We had a question from someone that commented on my status on Facebook, and they said, "This is Tom McElwain." He said, "What is your skin regime?" I guess he's wondering, how I keep my skin. So,
do you know this person?
I have met this person before. He's an interesting individual.
Was his father Buffalo Bob?
I don't know. It could be. I mean, wait, was Buffalo Bob Ginger?
I have no idea who that is.
That's the guy from Silence of the Lambs.
Come on.
Or Buffalo
I'm sorry.
Bill.
Buffalo Bill, yeah.
I don't know what he was.
Oh,
He puts the lotion on the skin.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Tucks it in.
He tucks it in. He tucks it in.
That's a weird thing to say. You have beautiful skin.
Well,
By the way, you guys do have beautiful skin.
We didn't mention that.
Appreciate that.
I apologize.
Compliment.
No, so actually,
We should have brought that up first thing.
Hashtag jungle fever.
Jungle
I
Rock.
want to keep saying that, so eventually that'll catch on.
That'll be a thing.
Maybe that'll be your new name. Magic Mike hashtag jungle fever.
Yeah, now
AKA hashtag
No
jungle
sequel
fever.
maybe can make you a shirt that's got that on the back.
Brandon can do whatever you need.
Jungle
if you
fever.
If you want to get that on a shirt, we can definitely hook that up.
No Sequel is definitely a great sponsor. He definitely took care of our team.
Yeah, and we got some.
Is there any new lines coming out? Any new shirts, colors?
We've got some new shirts and stuff coming out. I'm definitely going to be getting new shirts before my next fight.
Where can people buy these? Do you have a spot online?
Yeah, if you go to www.nosequelfightwear.com, just spell it out exactly as it sounds. They've got beanies coming out. They've got new hats coming out, sweats, new hoodies coming out, a couple new T-shirts. He's got a lot of stuff coming out. He's actually, like, because of production and everything, Brandon had to actually hire somebody else to help him.
That's
So
good.
I don't know if we talked about it last time, but like Brandon does everything himself. This guy puts his heart into literally every single shirt that gets made. Like, he made it himself. So he actually had to hire somebody else because the production was going up so much. So he's got a lot of stuff coming out. New website coming out soon. Just waiting on the final finishing touches for that. So a lot of big things for Brandon. Pretty excited for him.
Yeah, that's cool. To see how he literally like screen presses each shirt.
He literally screen presses every shirt.
That's cool.
I actually drove up to North Carolina and I like saw the entire process. And this man like does this for hours and hours and hours, like working nonstop by himself, no help from anybody else.
Yeah.
Like he is doing every single shirt.
I would imagine that it was interesting to see somebody that literally loves what they're doing. Like to go in there, like he probably loved showing you around.
Yeah.
Like he was like into it. Like
it was
into
a good
it.
time. I took pictures and everything. I've still got to post those. Horrible posts and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, he was into it. I was into it. It was pretty cool. I'd never seen it. I didn't really know. Didn't know how the process worked and how everything was set up and everything. So it was like pretty interesting just to watch. And I tried to help out, and he was like, yeah, I appreciate your help. I really think I like slowed him down a lot, but I tried. But it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. So
it's always good to see somebody that works so hard for their business, so you can kind of see it's going to a next level.
Yeah, definitely.
Here's just a thought in the future. When you get more popular, more well known, even you as well, go there and like literally like screen press a couple shirts, sign them, and then sell them that way. Like literally made by you. You can buy it.
That's probably a pretty good idea.
I can see fans really getting into something like that. Like he made 4 shirts and they're up for auction or something. Like he literally printed it, pressed it. These four.
Limited edition.
And sign it. Like have your signature. That'd be a good idea.
I hope nobody else heard that, so that we can keep that idea for ourselves for later.
Put a patent on that.
Nobody's listening.
The Fury, he already is.
He's already doing
work.
The Fury.
He's already copied both of you guys' signature, and he's working on those shirts as we speak.
Stay away from our idea, Ginger.
The Crimson Fury.
The fucking Fury. That's the full thing.
Yeah,
Fucking Fury.
he's an interesting guy. We could actually probably do an entire like 2 or 3 podcasts, like hours and hours of nothing but talking about the Fury. I mean, this guy's, he trains hard, he works hard, but he's just an interesting individual.
He's a good guy though.
And he likes big girls.
Like personality or pounds?
Pounds.
Pound for pound, the best girl you can find.
Big girls need love too.
Yeah.
That's
What do they
true.
say?
He likes big girls.
They
But
usually.
then he calls them ham beasts afterwards. So like,
I imagine you're throwing him under the bus, son, but you're being serious. Like,
yeah, I am throwing him under the bus, but I'm being serious as hell.
Well, they might be so big he likes getting under the bus.
Are we talking about like 250,
We're talking
300?
about plus, like, yeah, it's probably around there, 250 to 3. And like it's cool because he goes to UWF, so like his roommate also likes big girls.
It's a lot of capacity in that dorm room.
Yeah. But like I said, he likes them, but he's not touching them. He's saving himself for marriage. So.
Well, that's
Are you
cute.
serious?
Who
does that?
I don't know.
It's a fury. That's why he's so. That's why he's so angry.
So he's so angry. You get the reinforced risers for your dorm bed.
They can come sit down,
Yeah.
jump on the bed a little bit.
So, I know last time I talked about it, but Mike, who do you like as far as who's in the UFC right now?
Oh,
Who would
so
you say
many.
your per se favorite fighters?
So many fighters to pick from. I've been a fan of UFC for so many years now, and there's certain fighters that I like to study everyone. There's certain parts of the game that I like to study from certain people. For example, I love the way how GSP just takes his opponents down, at a drop of a dime.
Right.
I love the striking from Anderson Silva. Just everything is just pinpoint accuracy. So there's certain parts of the game that I like to study for certain people. But to answer your question, some of my top guys I like to watch is Anderson Silva, of course, John Jones, GSP, and then also Conor McGregor. I love his boxing. I love the way he moves. It's like poetry in a ring.
He's probably my favorite new fighter. My favorite fighter of all time is Lyoto Machida, just because I love the way that he hits and doesn't get hit.
Yeah, he's a great fighter.
Right. And but Conor McGregor is my new favorite guy that's coming up. I also like John Jones too, but it's good. And Carlos Condit's yours?
Yeah, Carlos Condit. The dude he's a monster. Striking on the ground, keeps that really calm, cool, collected face the entire time he's fighting. You never see any emotion whatsoever, and he takes and he just leaves everything out in the cage. So I like that.
Before we finish up, I know me and Rob talked about this last time you were on the podcast, but we talked about it off the air. I wanted to just touch on it lastly.
Stop touching people.
I'm very big into touching.
He did that again, didn't he?
He did that again.
I've been touching on his inner thighs about this whole.
He keeps doing that.
Better check a drink.
I got Spanish Fly from Bill Cosby earlier, so
Oh.
it's very potent. It's very potent.
That's the good stuff.
Cover your drink, man. Cover your drink.
But whenever you go out, are people more prone to start trouble with you?
Just
Just randomly, just like if word gets around that you're a fighter, and like let's say you're at Seville, this guy comes up and not necessarily that he even knows that you're a fighter, but if a guy comes up and he's just messing with you hardcore and he wants to take it to that next level, how do you not take it to that level?
Well, I like to look at myself as a professional, so the thing about other fighters that have the same mindset as myself is that actually we're the last guys that would go out and start a street fight or something like that, compared to the popular misconception of MMA fighters that we go around trying to look tough, wear the tap out shirts and mohawks, looking fucking stupid. But I try to de-escalate the situation, just try to leave the situation if possible. That has came about before at a casino when I was watching Robert fight. I think, who did you fight that day? It was this past May or June.
DK.
Yeah.
DK
Oh,
Woods,
he broke
yeah.
the guy's. Oh, that was a nasty fight when he snapped the guy's arm
seen
in case
that.
Katami. Yeah, I was at that event, and this random drunk guy, he comes up to me, asking for a cigarette, and no, I don't have anything on me. He stays in my face, all my bubble. Oh, hey, man, hey, he just keeps at it. And I was like, no, just get out of my face, man. And then he was trying to be cool with me, trying to shake my hand, and I don't know this guy. And the people that do know me, I'm very cautious of people I don't know. So I was trying to get him dap. I was just joking with him. No, just dap. And he still had his hand open. No, just shake my hand. I was like, I'm still joking with him. No, just dap with me. And all of a sudden, he just flipped like that. Why don't you want to shake my fucking hand? And at that point, I just took a step back. I said, back up. I said, back up before you get hurt. And, I'm not the toughest guy in the world, but, I can handle myself at the same time.
I would hope.
Definitely the toughest guy in this room right now.
No. So I just backed up. So told him, back up. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. I just kept telling him that over and over again. He was persistent. He stayed right there. And then all of a sudden, my friend Brian Smith, our brother I told you about, he's always coaching us in our fights. He came up out of nowhere and he said, yeah, just go, man, before you get hurt. Just go. And then security had to come and escort him out.
Wow.
So, fortunately, we were able to de-escalate that situation because it could have ended up way worse.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that, like, y'all have post-fight parties and things like that.
Yeah, they usually have a designated after-party spot.
I'm really surprised that nobody's ever, fresh off of watching someone fight, and now they're seeing you guys, and they're just, alcohol's flowing, and they're just like, damn.
I think people, even when they're drunk, they subconsciously realize, like, that is a bad fucking decision. Like, this is an entire room full of guys that fight for fun. Like, I probably shouldn't start something. Because, if, one guy's there and he's with his friends, chances are his friends are actually his training partners that also spend all of their free time fighting. Mm-hmm. So, probably not the best idea to just jump in and be like, you know what? That guy didn't look too tough. Let me see what he's got.
But there's also that guy that in his group of friends, he is the mega. You know what I mean? Like
the toughest guy in
alpha male.
Yeah.
They've seen him knock out all these punk ass kids that had no chance in certain scenarios. Now they're in there and they're like.
So in his mind, he is the tough guy.
Right. He is.
Keeping it real goes wrong.
Right. Exactly. And he's like, oh, look at this. Look at this guy getting all this shine.
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm glad that it hasn't happened to the point where y'all have actually had to be confrontational with people, but
honestly, I have it happen to me every day at work. I work at a psych ward over at Baptist, and
you're not a resident, you just work there.
No, our main job is just to keep them safe. Most of them are Baker Acted, or under the Baker Act law under the state of Florida. And, a lot of them are there because they try to hurt themselves or hurt others, or some of them are coming off of drugs or off of spice in particular. And, me, I'm only 5'6", somewhat of a wide base, wide frame, but other than that, I'm small. So, a lot of them do tend to test me, especially the psychotic ones. For some reason, I'm always a target. Always, always, always. It never fails.
Did some of them just flip a switch?
Yeah, yes, they do.
Is it really hard to contain some of them?
No, because we'll set the alarm off, and then more guys will come, and we'll just hold them basically, and then use our physical or chemical restraints.
Have you ever seen a guy in there, without getting too personal with it, like just a brick wall that you're like, wow, I hope that guy never loses his shit?
Yeah. There's one in particular. He's 6'4", I believe. 300 and something pounds, all muscle.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, if it ever came down to it, we have to do what we have to do.
Well, we know he's listening, so shout out to him.
Yeah, my very first experience of getting attacked on that floor was this one guy. He was coming off of spice, and for those that don't know much about spice, it really does mess your brain up.
It's a hell of a drug.
Oh yeah. And I just got off orientation at that time. It was me and another coworker. We were both keeping an eye on him because he was starting to get amped up, starting to get agitated and aggressive. So we were just keeping an eye on him, and he was just going off the wall with the stuff he was saying, his mannerisms and everything. I mean, just random stuff. We're just sitting there watching him, and I'm with my coworker, just having just a basic, simple conversation. And he'll jump in, screaming off the top of his lungs, saying random stuff like, "Oh, you ever had your penises cut off?" And we'll pause.
Penises.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I did.
Yes, I am actually. Yeah. So one day in particular, there was a female nurse watching him. Which a lot of the female nurses, they are very timid of the people that we have that, that come through there, that are admitted there. They're very timid. So she was watching him that particular day, and then he started going off, started taking off down the hall. I kind of get in her way, and I'll take care of it. And then that's when he just starts going off and starts swinging at me. And like I said, I just got orientation at that time.
Wow.
So I was real hesitant of, where to grab him, how to grab him. Not because of my training that I've had before, but, coming there, they train you as well. And there are certain ways you have to do
legally.
it. Exactly. To avoid any lawsuits or anything.
Yeah.
Certain ways you have to do it. So I was very hesitant. So basically I just had my hands on my hip like Anderson Silva and just dodged his punches until everyone else got there. Then we grabbed him. But for those first 10 seconds, I was on my own.
Wow.
And one of my coworkers, which I work with them almost every day I'm there, we have the same exact schedule. And I still remember this like it was yesterday. I heard his voice down the hall as I was dodging his punches. Because it was so much going on. I heard his voice down, "Don't do it, Jody. Don't do it, Jody." Because he knows I train. So he was very worried about me, just, instinctively just hitting him back or doing something illegal, basically hurting him. So I remember hearing his voice, "Don't do it. Don't do it, Jody."
As you front kicked him to the face.
I know, right?
We're gonna wrap up the second part of the podcast. I want to thank Magic Mike Roberts.
Thank you.
And Robert TQ Turnquest for coming on. It's a good podcast.
Pleasure to be on the show.
Welcome. It's fun. Well, thanks for listening.